Something that you hear often in the self-help, self-improvement space is that you cannot rely on motivation. Discipline is the thing that you must build up, and that is absolutely true. However, I think it takes discipline to put on and use the things that motivate you. It takes strategy, it takes discipline to do so. But I think that, like with music, music can be a powerful motivator, but it depends on the content as well as the duration of which you listen to it. You can either use music to your advantage or it can use you, and we'll get into that today. So this week we have been talking about how we can cut through the influence of this repetitive negative thought cycle. It feels like you cannot shut your mind off. And not only that, but every single thought that is cycling through your mind is destructive and toxic and discouraging. And I don't want that for you. We have talked about reading the scriptures, that cuts through the darkness, praying to God, and even more importantly, we should be praying without ceasing, having this conversation with God about even the smallest victories, but praying to God and then memorizing the scriptures so that when these thoughts seem so true, we have a solid foundation of truth stored up, not just in our minds, but in our hearts, so that we can be effective in this life and we don't have to believe what our thoughts or sometimes our feelings tell us. So now I want to let you know that you can use music to your benefit. Right now, you're probably using music in a way that is destroying you. You're probably listening to it 24/7 or just about as often as you can listen to it. And you're probably listening to music that matches the situation you think you're in. Moody songs, things like Taylor Swift, John Mayer, Ali Gotti. These people that maybe you're in the middle of a heartbreak, so you listen about 2 songs about heartbreak. They keep you in that mood. You might have a glimmer of hope that other people are there in the same situation as you, but it keeps you there. And so I think that if you just set for yourself these, I believe, 4 rules to that you place upon your music consumption, that you will be significantly better off to tackle your day, to be effective in life, and again allows you to fill yourself with positive influences that will aid you in pulling yourself out of anxious thinking. So the first rule that you can set for yourself is this: whenever I am blank, then I will listen to music. Right? So this gives you a rule that does not completely cut music out of your life. When I am blank, then I will listen to music. So when I am working out, I will listen to music. When I am working, I will listen to music. I highly recommend that you just pick one scenario. I use music in order to focus, right? And just a side note on that, if you want to be productive in work and you're allowed to listen to music, pick a playlist that you listen to every single day. And as your brain becomes more familiar with those songs and you're not continually having to scroll and look for the next thing, your brain will kind of shut down thinking about the music, and it kind of helps you enter into that flow state that you might have heard about online, because your brain's not taking in new information. It's become so familiar with what you listen to. But that's just a side note. When I am blank, then I will listen to music. The next rule that I think will be highly beneficial is whenever I feel too overwhelmed, then I will listen to music, but specifically not just any music. I would highly recommend that if you're sitting there and you're starting to realize, man, I'm starting to get really stressed, I'm starting to really get anxious and overwhelmed. Like, I know I have so much work today and I don't think I'm going to get that completed. Pull yourself away, listen to maybe a set of 4 songs that you've already picked out, like your I am overwhelmed playlist, like whatever you want to name it. Let that music be 4 songs that pull your mind not to your situation, but to either who God is and how great he is, or what he can do with you. So just pick 4 songs, have that playlist stored and ready, so when you realize I am too overwhelmed, you listen to it. But you only listen to those 4 songs and you don't listen to it over and over. Once you hit that 4th song and it's over with, you're done. Hopefully by the end of that, your mind will be set on God and you'll go back to that continuous conversation that God desires to have with you. Then the third rule is when I need motivation, I will listen to blank. Again, try not to go over maybe 4 songs. I know sometimes I'm not feeling like going to work out. What can I do? Listen to 4 songs that get me pumped up. Maybe I'm not feeling like living out my life with Christ to the best of my ability with the urgency that he is coming back and there's going to be a judgment. Then I could listen to these 4 songs to set the tone for the day. For a really long time, I started my day every single day with a song called Hard Work, God First by Zonti. And it had a profound effect on setting the tone for the day. The last rule or the last thing that would be beneficial is whenever I am about to spend time with God, I will listen to blank. Pick one song that motivates you to connect with God. I highly, highly recommend it being about his grace or his goodness, finding one kind of worshipful song, whether that is a hymn or not does not necessarily matter, but I highly recommend that you memorize some of the hymns. I come back to that song, Lord, I need you. Oh, I need you. And that's pretty much what I say over and over when I come back to it. But pick just one worship song that prepares your mind to meet with God. And there you go. Those 4 rules will allow you to, first off, keep music in your life, will allow you to extract the most benefits from the music that you listen to, and it will keep you from listening to it 24/7, keeping you in this like coping mechanism of continually needing this stimulation to live. It won't be comfortable, and there will be times where you'll break those rules, but give yourself grace and commit to going back to it each time. If you follow each of those rules, you will get the most benefit out of music. You will enjoy the words of the music more and extract the positives from it. And that just kind of leads me to the last thing. Make sure the content of those songs are God glorifying, right? Because if it's not God glorifying, it's either leading you to think about yourself, and we've already talked about what self absorption does, or it's causing you to think about the negative situation, or it's not powerful enough to benefit you in any meaningful way. So think about those things. I highly recommend that after this video ends, write down these rules and pick the songs that you are going to use for that. Doesn't mean you have to stay with those set of songs for the rest of your life, obviously, but pick them, commit to them, and then you begin that process of recognizing and remembering the rules. You will be very well off if you follow this. So remember, as always, with Christ, you've got this.